plus. Okay, good morning, my audience. I'm here visiting with my partner, and she is a great uh, person doing the uh, humanitarian support work, and Professor Iwona. Spell your last name is hard.
Kaliszewska.
Kalishevska. Okay. And then I worked this time with her since April, and then ever since April we've been working together. She's helping delivery. I founded her project, etc. And now we come to a point that this whole war uh, going on, but happy to say Ukraine are winning small victories at a time. But the work of humanitarian support continue to grow. So I'm going to ask Iwona a few questions, and then my dear audience, you guys can listen and can understand the true news. Okay? So Iwona, how are you, Iwona?
Good, thank you. Hello.
Yeah, thank you for the good work. Now, one question is question like 30 second to 1 minute. Uh, so, how is the humanitarian support work right now?
Well, so first of all, still see a lot of people helping, but it's declining. People are a little bit bored with the war. But the needs are huge, especially in Ukraine. We were surprised to see that closer to the front lines, people would still need things like food or even clothes that we were thinking are no longer needed in that area. So basically, what we do is try to deliver frequently, but like in small buses, like a van going every week to Ukraine, somewhere closer to the front lines, helping people in the villages, helping hospitals or smaller medical points that are located at the front lines.
Well, that is exactly we are doing together, right?
Yeah.
And my second question is that uh, what are the Ukraine first the Ukraine I don't want to be politics, but the Ukrainian people's spirit. The I talking about the people they are fighting the war, and the people are that are like trying to make a living.
Yeah. So the spirits are still high. Like uh, there are people coming to Poland, but there are also people coming back to Ukraine to work to support their country. So local businessmen try to help, local people try to donate their salaries, and yet the inflation is high. So a lot of people can help less and less because they have to live on something. So this became problematic. So people are worried about the winter, about the heating, about it's always easier in summer. So in summer you can eat your own food from your own garden, you can eat this and that, and you don't need a shelter or you don't need a heating. But the winter season is something that people fear. So you can feel that the spirits are high,
Yeah.
but there is this fear connected with the winter season. Is both among the civilians and among the, I guess, military as well.
Yeah, I agree, and I saw the like concerns and of winter coming, and then therefore the better all these good weathers, and we do, and it's better for the whole situation to improve, right? And then here's another question. So tell people that what's the European spirit? I mean, there's a lot of rumors. Some are tired of supporting, some are still supporting, some are changing mind. So what is the unity of it? And it's very important for us to unite on this cause. But everybody have their own personal needs or their countries individually. So tell us something. What do you know?
So if it comes to Eastern Europe, like countries like Poland or Baltic states, people are still very much engaged. They really want Ukraine to win this war. So although the help has declined, the spirits are high. People are supportive both of refugees, and they are still, finding some financial resources to finance medical stuff or food going into Ukraine. But if you look at Europe as a whole, then I would not say the spirits are that high. Like, in Western Europe, people are kind of bored. They speak about the war in the past, or it's not the topic of everyday conversation. So I think there's a huge difference between Eastern Europe, or Central Europe, as you call it, and Western Europe. You can feel that difference.
Yes,
that
we understand
people
those
are no
lines.
longer, in Poland, everybody talks every day about the situation in Ukraine, and we know what is happening, like what the Ukrainian army is up to, what happened, who got, what are the casualties. Whereas when I went over to UK, they were like, well, war, okay, let's talk about something else.
Right. Yeah, that is what's heard all over a lot of people in USA. That it's complicated, but it really, we all do our part, and to help. I can't change the country or the world, but we really know what is the main focus right now. The last question, okay, this is a little bit sensitive. Now, Russian people always good. I have friends there. I always love the country, but the ruling class or the people that decide the policies, and how do they see them versus the West, and or how do they see themselves, how to end this, where they believe it goes, where reality it will go.
You mean
Russia.
You mean Russians?
Yeah.
Well, I cannot speak for Russian elites what is going to happen to them.
Your observations.
But my observation is that they should realize at some point that it's getting their country nowhere.
Okay.
And I think the elites are starting to feel that. Common people, well, a little bit. They have inflation, but we have inflation too. So, like with everyday people, I don't think the sanctions work that well, because they, as far as to the best of my knowledge, I would say, well, they do experience this a little bit, but I'm not sure if they experience it up to the point where they would rebel or support some other leader, if there is any leader. So,
Yeah. So in other words, let's break down the question. In other words, do you feel or do you see the Russian people supporting Ukraine?
A lot of people are just trying to stay away from that. So there are a lot of, I think like half of the population would actually be supporting Putin.
Yeah.
But the other half would be either indifferent or supportive of Ukraine. But I think they just sort of staying away from that.
Okay.
Or they distance themselves saying, oh, it's the army fighting. We have nothing to do with it.
Right.
So it's only the army doing their job. And we don't know nothing about big politics. You just, stay away from us.
Okay. So I mean, I personally don't want it. I'm sure a lot of people don't want it. That is that the people of two countries fight. Is not. It is the leadership that, trying to fill their ambition. And then they trying to cover up the news, and the people don't know what they're doing. Is that what you see, or what do you think?
Basically, yes. Of course, there are some people that are strongly against the war. It's not, there are many of them, but their freedom of speech is pretty much restricted, so they cannot really speak publicly. They can emigrate and speak here, but it's not the same thing. But of course, there is a big part of the smaller part of the population is still that they would love to see Russia change. So they also see the war in Ukraine as sort of way to change Russia. Like if Ukraine wins, then there's a chance for Russia to become more democratic, more like a freer country than it used to be.
That'd be
So
nice.
there is a bunch of people doing that as
Okay.
well, but it's hard to predict which way
It's
it
hard.
goes.
At least it's long, right? It takes
Yeah.
long.
It
Okay.
will be long.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good enough. And then for us, and then despite all of the politics, you and I continue to do this humanitarian support, right? And you did a great job, and then contribute everything that you have. And then I'm certainly doing my part. And this will end this interview. Thank you, Iwona. Today is August 31st, and my interview will continue with many other people involved, and we are actually now involved in another project that is to bring teachers and doctors to Poland and Ukraine to help the needed people. Now there's a needs for supplies, material supply, and then there's mental needs and health needs. So we'll be doing that. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.